Well, hello again. In this tutorial, we're going to talk about understanding libraries, events, and projects in Final Cut Pro 10. Now, let's just go get started, and I'm going to jump right over to the interface, and we will roll. So, really quickly here, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to hit Command 4, and I'm going to shut that inspector window so I can kind of appear up here for a second. So we're going to focus on this part of the screen, and we really want to understand, okay, how this works organizationally. If you spend the time organizing your clips before your video edit, you'll really go a long way. This will really go a long way to help you. So what we have here, okay, this is called the libraries pane, okay, and I'm going to zoom this in just a little bit more. Okay, so you can see this. So what we have right here is an untitled library. Now, think about this for a second, okay? What is contained in a library? Books, right? Information is in a library. You have a lot of different topics inside of a library, right? Same thing here with this library. So we have an untitled library. I'm not going to change this right now, but if you want to change this, and you're going to need to do that, you can just go ahead and highlight this and change this to what you want. Every time you create a new event, okay, it's going to default to this day. But again, that is something that you can change. We will talk about smart collections at another time. So right now we have a library and we have an event. Now, what does this mean? Okay, so your event is displayed in the browser window. So what lives in here is your projects and what we're going to call your assets. Okay, so let me jump over here real quick, and I want to really just kind of illustrate this another way. So we said you have information in your library, right? So we have, you know, this icon that looks like this, all right? And it's got these 4 boxes in it, okay? And these boxes have these stars in it, okay? You see what this is communicating? This is communicating that there's many of these things in here. Let me just look at something real quick, okay? Now, so this is your library, okay? Inside your library, okay, lives an event, okay, which looks like this, which just has 1 star. So when you see this right here, it says this is your library, and you have many different events. And then you have what's called an event. Inside the event, you have 2 things. You have projects. Hope I didn't run off my screen there. And you have your assets. Okay? So, what are assets? Okay? Assets can be video, audio, maybe some sound effects. Truth be told, that's audio, or some pictures, okay? Assets are anything that you are going to use for this project, okay? So I really want you to understand this far left-hand pane, because you can have many different libraries and many different events all open at the same time. So your library, inside your library is your event. What lives there is projects and assets. And what are your assets? Is this right here. Okay? So I just wanted to be able to paint that out for you, just really, really quickly, just to kind of see what we're working with. Now, jumping back here to Final Cut. Okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here. This function is nothing that you are going to need. I just use the zoom for teaching. So I'm just going to call this my first library. Okay. Now I'm working on a project, okay? And let's say it's a project for my English class. Okay, I might not have a title for it yet. Okay, so right here, anything that I import is going to be here. Now my project over here, I don't have to call it English class video. Okay, okay. My English class video is a video about okay, my life in pictures. Okay, let's say maybe that's a book that you're reading. So now I've gone ahead and titled this. So I'm ready to do some importing and everything like that. But it's really important that we just understand this. Now, before I go importing anything, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go under File, Open Library. Now I'm going to open up a library that this is a, if I can just get to it, keep my hand on it. This is a project that I have been working on. Okay, this is a personal project. And I want to shut this little disclosure triangle next to these libraries real quick. Okay, here was the library we created. There's this little triangle. Okay, now you can click on it right here. You can also use the left and right arrow keys, is what I'm doing right now. Okay, to open and close the library. Just so you know, on an Apple computer, this also opens and closes libraries, or opens and closes folders in your Finder window. So that's just kind of a cool little trick to know. All right. So I'm going to come up here and I'm going to hit this, and you're going to notice that in my All Music library, I have got a bunch of different things. Okay. This video, I've got this couple of teaching videos. Thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over and I put this in here. This right here was a video that I did for the school. It was a school project called About Me. And what I want you to see here is I want you to see that what I have is that this is populated. Here is my project. If I double click on the project, this project is going to show up down here in this window. Now one of the things I want you to see is this. The skimmer. This is skimming audio and video. I'm going to come over here to this part of the screen. This is something I suggest that you all do. This right here is the skimmer. You want to keep that on. This is audio skimming. I always shut that off because if I want to just play this, I've been teaching here for about 15 years. Okay? But now if I skim, there's no audio. Really don't need the audio to skim. So again, I want you to see that I have a library right here. If I click on library, everything shows up. And then I have this broken up into different projects, which are events. Okay? Okay, I've just got some different clips and photos here of different things. Okay, this was a video I did on a guitar. Okay, so I want to just kind of show you how this works. This particular video, I'll go ahead and you'll see that what I did is I did a video talking about this specific guitar. Okay, so this was all of the yep. This is called the Spinning Beach Ball of Death. SBBD, we call it. It really just means the computer is thinking. So we're going to just go ahead and let it think for a second. There we go. All right. So again, what I want you to see is you can have a lot of different things. Now for organization, if we were in the classroom, my first library would say first semester projects. And you would have more than one project underneath your library. And this would have your name on it. So you see down here, if I can come back to this right here, I've got some still images. Okay, I've got my main story video right here. Okay, those are my kids, a little crazy. Okay, some other pictures, some graphics, and I have some other video that I've pulled into this as well. So this is where everything lives up here. Learning how to organize this is really, really important. The last thing I want to show you is this right here up under Window. Cool little feature in Final Cut is when you're using different parts, you're in different parts of the editing process, you might want your displays to look a little different. Under the window, you go down to Workspaces, and I'm going to, right here, Default, what you're looking at is the default workspace. I'm going to click on Organize. And see what it does? Again, it opens up the inspector. So if I want to click on something right here, okay, and you just see, I don't have any, there we go. Gives me some information about what I'm on in the inspector. But it allows me to see clips, and I can organize these clips. Okay? So the last thing in organization here that I want you to see is what is called, let me see if I have anything on here, keywords. That's what this little thing is here. Okay? Stay tuned. We're going to talk about keywords in another video. So that's just a quick overview of really understanding that library events and projects pane. Okay? The more organized you are up front, it's a real temptation to pull in your stuff and just start editing. Okay? If you pull everything in, look at what you have, organize it, you'll be way ahead of the game. Okay, we'll talk a little bit more about organization in a future video. Bye for now.